Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Saturday, March 7, 2026. It's about midnight. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel. Upcoming stock earnings releases next week. We have earnings from Oracle, Dollar General, and SentinelOne. Economic data, we have CPI data, unemployment claims, core PCE, and preliminary GDP, as well as consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Some news, NVIDIA reportedly said they will not invest in either OpenAI or Anthropic AI at this time, and it's mainly due to these two companies planning to IPO. Military conflict between Iran, Israel, and the USA continues. Let's start off with stocks. SPY, S&P 500 ETF. On this weekly chart, actually we have a head and shoulders printed. So this is something that we want to watch out for. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline. We lost 682.46. If it's sustained, and it's gonna take longer than a few days. We're talking about a month or 2 or 3 months of sustained price action, because we could, once it hits low like this, it could definitely bounce. We could try to retest and come back down below. So resistance right now is 680. Support 668. Also, if we Fibonacci from the bottom of tariff crash to the top of the market right now, the monthly 236 is not until 652 price. This is a weekly chart, by the way. So the fact that this sideways consolidation that we've been stuck in for 3 months now finally broke to the downside, just want to watch out as an investor. We don't have to panic, but 4-hour death cross, that's not really good to see. We were already 15-minute death crossed on the EMAs. 1 hour is already death crossed since end of February, and we finally got that 4-hour death cross. So things are bearish on the intraday time frames, and we're gonna have to, if it's gonna death cross on the daily chart, it has to be extremely severe crash in the stock market. That remains to be seen. But from my experience, is that even though we're downtrending, somebody is going to think it's a little bit of value once it hits that low stochastic area. So I'm looking for some kind of divergence play. If somebody's trying to trade this, I might trade it if I can catch one of these divergence plays, but it has to go oversold, and intraday, we might have a small little bounce. But the downtrend, it is actually confirmed at this point. Lower low, slight lower high, and this is our lower low. Now the question is, how low will the price go before we have a nice lower high bounce? So that resistance 677. NASDAQ, ETF QQQ, monthly and weekly chart as well. Monthly chart, we're seeing we had that candle body wick double top below 634. Weekly chart, I would say a triple to quadruple resistance pattern. Now we're above the 26 weekly EMA. I like how the stochastic RSI is down below 20. Daily chart, the stochastic and the RSI is in neutral zone, even though there is MACD momentum building. Similar story, 4-hour is death cross, but I like how QQQ is holding the support for now above 596. That's good. Hourly death cross just crossed down. 15-minute death cross as well. So what it looks like is, unless there's surprise news in the next few days before Monday, Tuesday, is we're probably going to get a leg down to reset this technical. It could even happen overnight, EU session or in the pre-market. And then there might be a small little bounce. Like we're getting this low, low, high, lower, low, lower, high. So lower, low, maybe lower, high, if it's going to keep trending like that. But anything's possible, especially with the military conflict, geopolitical, macro news. There's a lot going on right now. Dow Jones broke bearish as well. Dow Jones, interesting, it's below the linear regression and below Bollinger Band. Stochastic is low, RSI is not quite low, but it could be reaching for that lower low if it's another week or two capitulation or a month, 461. But it looks like it could bounce at some point, maybe around 467. But the fact that it's below here, and this is just mostly because of that military conflict. Earnings were not so great. The inflation data is not so great. Sentiment is just down. We're coming out of colder weather right now. So it makes sense why this is happening. IWM, very similar. We lost that 259 support. And it's going to be an intraday bounce. It has to be for all these ETFs. I'm already seeing a little bit of 15-minute, 1 hour setting up. 4 hours not quite setting up in terms of a double bottom price action, but that hourly, if once the support starts going sideways, we might get that bounce. Let's talk about oil. This is obviously due to Iran-Israel military conflict, Middle East tensions, or actually military conflict and tensions before that. We were in the Golden Cross. We broke above 80. And this is a high RSI for right now. On a weekly chart, it's still high RSI, but my interpretation of the charts is it has to be extreme out of the Bollinger Band, which it kind of is. But if I'm looking for an advanced RSI play, I'm looking for the second RSI bounce, which to make that lower low, or to see that in the price, because we can keep going high, or we could crash and double top. But I want to see that in the RSI as well. If I'm only playing technicals, or I need to see some kind of severe pattern on hourly 4 hour, I'm just ignoring the oscillators right now because it's a golden cross on oil. We have not had that for a long time. UNG, natural gas. Remember I was saying this could be some kind of upside down head and shoulders, double bottom. Nice play. Went from low stochastic to high stochastic. Even though, and again, I just don't really like talking about political things too much or like military conflict, because from like a moral standpoint, it's so sad. I'm just going to put that out there. But at the same time, for not just for Middle East, but just if it happens anywhere, right? But for me, in this channel, I have to primarily focus on the charts. That's my job. That's the scope of this channel. There's a lot more political news or interpretation, opinion all over YouTube and TV. So I'm just having to focus on charts, but I do want to make that clear about myself and what I'm saying and doing here. So UNG, potential upside down head and shoulders. There was that baby upside down head and shoulders on the daily of the end of February. So let's measure that. If it's 6%, it could go 6% to 1279. It could go 12% to about 1350. If it goes 18%, the 1421. If it goes even higher, 24%. Maybe it might even go to 15 because that's the upper linear regression zone over time. It's probably, if we start trending, that would be beautiful to see on price charts. Gold is still in the uptrend. It's getting to that upper side of the linear regression, so I'm a little bit cautious here. But wow, that monthly RSI, weekly RSI is pretty high, but the daily chart and the 4 hour momentum is still intact. So unless we start having a blow off top or we start consolidating, it looks like gold just is making higher highs and higher lows, which is a healthy trend. Silver is different. We had a massive run up, the sell off, the intent to double bottom bounce, which hopefully if anyone got that, congratulations on the trades, 25% pullback as well. And the weekly is the issue for me right now. Lower high, so higher high, higher low, HL, higher high. It's still higher, but then we made a higher high, higher low, lower high. So that's bad. And that was that bearish setup up here. So if silver's going to sell off, Looking at 69, 68, 65 support. But on the daily chart, looks like bulls they're fighting for, somebody's fighting for that position to stay above ground here. Let's move on to crypto. Total crypto market cap. Crypto and Bitcoin altcoins also pulling back quite severely. This pop up at the beginning of March apparently reportedly was a short squeeze. So we had a pop up. However, in my opinion, the military conflict and just the sentiment pulled us back down. Unfortunate. That's a 7 to 10% volatility right there. I have to take a long-term view here. Just prepare myself on a weekly chart right now. If I turn off all the indicators, it's quite a severe sell-off. The last time this happened in the most recent past was 2022 to 2023 bottom zone. And that was down about negative 70%. This area, negative 70%. On Bitcoin right now, high to low, it's only down negative 40%. So we actually might not be at the bottom of Bitcoin right now. So I need to be careful about that. However, this yellow support line I drew on a monthly, which is in the 2 trillion range, could be the support level. So in terms of just simple trend, we're below the weekly 200 EMA. Daily is still downtrending. So I need to be careful here. Don't get too excited. The only thing that might save us here, and what I'm seeing is hourly's death crossed, 15 minutes already death crossed, 4 hours also death crossed, right? It's not the greatest bull setup I've ever seen, but the only thing that could happen is if we keep crashing, maybe we'll find some support at 2.2 trillion. So how does this interpret to Bitcoin? Is very similar. Bitcoin crashed down negative 70%, and right now Bitcoin only crashed down negative 40%. The monthly, we're holding above that 50 EMA, the 200 weekly EMA, we just lost that. It's unfortunate. It's not 100% over, however. And remember, retail, in my opinion, is not in control of crypto. The whales are in control. The miners are in control. People who have, groups who have 10,000 Bitcoin or more, the billions of dollars. And some of those investors already sold. That's what some of this is right here. So until we have a massive bottom on Bitcoin, and we need to see it not on a daily, I need to see on like a weekly chart. Big double bottom, upside down head and shoulders could take months. So that's why I'm not forcing people on charts on any people. I want to be careful here. One interesting thing that could happen is we had the symmetrical triangle. It's barely holding that retest. So as long as we stay above $65,000 Bitcoin, we actually could survive here. This could be the very earliest stages of a reversal at best case scenario. Conservative scenario is we might just stay range bound for a while. And then bear case is we just keep crashing 10%. That'd be very bad. It's plus or minus 15% right now for Bitcoin. So let me get these support levels up so it's very, very clear for people. Bitcoin support 63,000, 63,576, 65,845. Fibonacci zone is $56,000 Bitcoin. And remember, the truth of the matter from a technical chart perspective that I need to be honest with myself is, what is the trend? That's the question, not what social media is saying, not what any institution or corporation or government person, official entity or institution, or what the news people are saying. Is very simply I ask myself on any asset, what is the trend? Is it uptrending? Is it sideways trend, consolidation, or is it downtrending? Right now we are downtrending, confirmed with a death cross. So the only thing that's going to basically save the market is we need a massive reversal. It's going to take time and a lot of bullish catalysts. So until then, I have to tell myself we're still in this downtrend until the price chart proves otherwise. So that will remain true for a lot of altcoins that we're going to finish off with here. Ethereum still in a downtrend. I like the price going sideways. It has to hold above $1,800 to maintain this momentum, but Ethereum has crashed more than 60% in the past, even though it is currently down 60%. XRP is also still in a downtrend, price downtrending. It's not really all about the oscillators. So just gotta watch out. This could easily flash crash, which I don't really want it to, but it could flash crash down to 118. Resistance above is 150. Solana as well in the death cross right now, downtrending, barely holding on to price. Support, Stoch RSI is not at the moment low. It is high. I'm waiting for it to come low. I have some position on right now. Weekly chart, if this is going to grow, it's going to take months and months. The only thing that's attracting me to crypto right now is we got weekly low RSI. So as an investor, long term, I'm talking 5+ years, 10+ years, this could be some kind of relative low spot. But on daily charts, swing trading timeframes, it's not a perfect entry because there's no major huge pattern that I'm seeing. And some of the patterns are double bottom, upside down head and shoulders, V-shaped recovery, uptrend reversal. It actually keeps downtrending. Only thing is, at this moment in time, I do see a bullish divergence setup on 15 minutes. So that's why I need to not panic. It's Saturday night. Markets are closed. News can happen on Sunday, Monday in either direction. So I need to not make a snap judgment off of one chart on the weekend. Let's do one more. We'll do Cardano. So Cardano downtrending, price still death crossed, price still downtrending. This weekly chart, I do like this MACD histogram. I do like how the weekly RSI is low, but the first kind of taps down into that lower RSI, cryptos, altcoins can keep crashing -50, -25% down below that -40% down. So here's a perfect example of one of my investing setups that I wait for. Is it takes a long time, which is most people don't care about this. But if you're looking for an interesting setup, weekly double bottoms, weekly double bottom, triple bottoms, weekly bullish divergence setups have a higher than 50% chance, 200%, 200% profit, 75% profit. So if I'm honest with myself, I'm not seeing any of that right now. It's just knife falling down from outer space from moon, not a knife, but satellites falling down from outer space, our stars, our altcoins. This is what they call knife falling in the market, stock market, crypto market. So at some point it's going to stop, but it's the only reason I bought some Cardano myself is it's kind of at the historical low right now, 25-cent range, which has been good to me. But if we lose that, this is going to be the first time we're actually going to lose that for a couple of years, 3 years. It's going to be painful. But that's crypto. We just have to wait. So that's the honest truth right now. Until we get daily double bottoms or weekly double bottoms on the charts, retail and the bullish sentiment is just not going to come back. So all that matters is risk management, playing my strategy. Sometimes just waiting is the correct action. Sometimes paper trading or shrinking down positions when the trend is going against me. Sometimes just keep doing charts, looking for setups is the answer until it comes. And then when it comes, when the setup comes, it's time to buy good big and go big, a good big amount of whatever asset I'm buying. This is still downtrending for me. So we have to wait. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing, hit the like button, leave a nice comment. Hope you're doing well in your life. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.